Hello, hello. We are here with another her, him, and a mic.
Yes.
It's been a while.
It's been a while,
It's
you
been a while. It's
guys.
been a while.
Yes, it has indeed.
Now, I will say that if you're clicking on this thumbnail to come here and you're watching this now, you have read the title. And we're going to be talking about The Flash.
You saw that?
I saw
You saw?
I didn't see it. It was too fast for
It was
me
so
to catch
fast,
it.
you
It was so
guys.
fast.
Maybe I'll do it again. You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. That's a good
If
question.
you
That's a good
pause at the
question.
right time, you get to see that move. You know what I mean? But it just happens.
So,
right?
what's up, Stan? How you doing,
Stan,
buddy?
welcome, baby.
So Flash 2023.
Yes.
Okay. Title spicy.
Ooh.
Okay. The title is spicy because it's deserved. Okay. This is all deserved because of the way that this world is with these movie reviews. I'm so sick of it.
I am too,
We're
Money.
fed up.
We are.
It's crazy. It's
Evan,
like you
welcome.
can't trust anything
You
anymore.
can't trust
What's
the
up?
system,
You
guys.
can't trust the system.
You can't trust it.
Yo,
Unfortunately,
for
you
reals.
cannot.
You
You
cannot.
have to see things for yourself. Feel them for yourself.
Oh my God. It's
Be in
crazy
it.
that
You
the
know what I
world we're
mean?
in.
It's
So,
crazy. But
listen,
with that said, you are watching Her, Him, and a Mic,
that's right.
right? And that right there is our friend CMoney.
He is our friend.
And I'm your girl Doodle. What's up, baby? Welcome. Thank you for being here with us. I'm having a great day, see? Are you?
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Great.
Happy
Well,
to be
we had
here.
a great day. It's nighttime now. We're
Yes.
chilling with our peeps.
Yes. But we're not here to sleep. We're here to
We're
talk.
not here to sleep.
All
We're here
right?
to talk.
We got things
We're
to
going to
say.
talk about The Flash. And, damn.
Man.
What a movie.
What a freaking movie, you guys.
What a movie, bro.
What a roller coaster of emotions for me, because I heard about the movie, didn't care to watch because I'm kind of over it. Like, I'm more on the Marvel side, and they've kind of drained me with the things that they've been doing. You know, the way with all the um multiverse and this happened, but it didn't. And I'm kind of sick of the nonsense, right? So for me, it's been like a step back. So I'm not normally like into DC, but
Well, all the superhero movies in general have kind of been
yes,
this way, where they're kind of, it's been like a downward trajectory. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Where it's like the
They started,
interest
they
and
were so
intrigue is
high.
gone.
Yes.
I should also mention, because of the topic at hand, it's relatively new, out on release. So
Yes.
just to be clear, there will be some spoiler talks. Like
We're not going to
we're not
it
breaking down the movie
completely.
or anything like that, but we're gonna probably say something that, you know, if you're like a diehard, it's like, oh my God, I didn't want to know.
Earmuffs when
Now's
that happens.
Now's your time. But yes, so as far as, you know, these superhero movies are concerned, again,
Yes.
Marvel like really set the stage for them and made it something huge and something big that we were all kind of like
Mhm.
excited to watch finally.
Yes.
And, you know, that kind of played itself out. And then now it's like,
I feel like DC has always been trying to, and they'll get their hits like with
well,
the movies
DC's
here and there.
like the one that we
Um,
has been in the background, right? Like
Mhm.
making their good movies, but then also their really bad movies.
Exactly.
Marvel was really the one kind of taking
Consistent.
over. And now Marvel's kind of boring, right?
Agree. For me,
So-
at least, like they literally like lullaby my ass to sleep. Like I just knock out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doctor Strange, we were trying to watch. We tried to watch it like 3-4 times, and that did not
No
happen.
matter what we do, it's like you can't stay awake. But so again, Marvel on the way down. DC was been a wild card, but then we had like this ray of hope, right? Where
Agreed.
James Gunn was taking over
Coming
DC.
in.
And you know, the Flash, I saw him in one of the other movies and I thought he was super dope. I forget
Mhm.
I even forget the movie that he was in. But like I wasn't like super anticipating this movie.
I wasn't super hyped for the movie. And when I saw, you remember that video game that you were so disappointed by, and then I saw the
Oh,
Flash in
Suicide
it.
Squad.
And, yo, he was so good. He was like the highlight of the game, right? It was so good. I was like, yo, this gets me excited for the movie. And I kind of got pumped for it. Welcome, Purple Berry. What's up, baby?
What's up, guys?
So yeah, I was kind of like, all right, the game makes me feel like I want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then James was pumping it up.
So that's when
I
right?
really hopped on board.
So James Gunn, he's taking over, and then he made a comment.
Yeah.
Okay, and that comment maybe small to some people, but for us, for me specifically, I heard it, and he mentioned how it's like he thinks it's like one of the best superhero movies that have been made or something like that. And
Yes.
I was like, man,
that's huge.
That's
to
a
hear
lot of
from
praise.
like James Gunn. Like,
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, like, who would have thought? Like, look at what he did with them. And, like, we were all into, like, Avengers and all. And it was, like, some, like, characters that I personally didn't know anything about. And, like, he made it pop.
Yeah, James Gunn is
the name
shit.
has weight.
Like, he knows what he's doing. He's out here making
Mm-hmm.
great movies, and his word means something.
Exactly.
But then we started hearing about like reviews from when this was out in theaters, right? And it got like decimated, bro. Like, people were talking how bad it is, all this stuff, and now you start questioning the gunman. You know what I'm saying?
Because listen, he came in, he fired everybody. All right? He was like, yo, you're out, you're out, you're out. And obviously, you're like, okay, he's starting this new journey, right? He's resetting everything. And of course, he's going to pump up the movie. You start like questioning, And at that point, I was like, yo, I should have stuck to my guns. And
yes.
And
stuck to the guns.
Like, not flipped. I wasn't pumped to see it. But man.
Yo, man. If you haven't, you gotta.
Yes.
You gotta.
You have to see it. Forget what they're saying. This movie is everything. Like, everything. I can understand why James Gunn was saying what he was saying. It is one of the best movies, best superhero movies. I'm not going to say one of the best DC movies, which it is. It's one of the best superhero movies I've seen in a very long time. And like, Black Adam got trashed. We thought that
Black
was
Adam's
good.
in the same boat.
But listen,
for me, but
nowhere
not
near
even
this. This is like next level. He was right. Okay? So we ended up watching the movie because, CMoney was like, you know what? Let's just do it. So we bought it
for my birthday.
For his birthday week.
We were gonna wait.
So yeah.
We were gonna wait to watch it on Max or whatever it came to a streaming service. But I was like, I want to watch something good, or I want to watch something at least exciting.
And there comes Doodle. I'm like, yo, do you remember what we've heard? I mean, we can do that, but this was supposedly really, really bad.
Yes.
But we went ahead. We did it anyways. Dude, this actor is phenomenal.
So Ezra,
I
don't even know. I don't know where he's from.
I don't know either. He's the Flash, guys.
I mean, he's the Flash.
He's the Flash.
But I didn't think he was like an actor that was worth anything. And honestly, in the beginning of the movie,
you were questioning a little bit.
It didn't really like pop like right in the beginning. Like when you first saw him, it didn't like just spring to life. Like, wow, what an amazing actor. But then once he starts getting into basically the bulk of the film, where you start really seeing how crazy wide his acting is, how he's playing different people.
This guy is
in completely different ways.
He played 3 different roles.
By the end, we were like, free Ezra.
Free him.
We get it.
Justice.
He needs to be free.
Justice for the Flash. No, dude, this was freaking amazing. This guy can act.
Yo, he
really
was
can. Beside himself, literally playing 2 different characters, like complete opposites. And then the thing is that as you understand the story and what he's going through, you understand why the acting was the way it was in the beginning, because that is who he is.
Yes.
Yo, it was hilarious. I was laughing so hard.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally. This is for me when I was watching this movie. Honestly, this was my Avengers moment
Yes.
for DC.
Correct.
And I don't mean the ensemble cast. I mean like the way they delivered the movie, the pacing of the movie, and how freaking it could be serious, talking about serious stuff, and then just fucking hilarious, yo. Like
I
so
was cracking up.
funny, dude.
But they still give you the context that you need.
Yes.
Okay? The fight scenes are insane. It's like a complete package. And dude, they come for Marvel. They make fun of Marvel in such a good way too. Like,
yes,
it's crazy.
They came at him. So that's like we'll talk about that in a second, because that's a whole nother strand of stuff that we need to talk about. Right. But like as far as casting is concerned with Ezra, I mean Ezra is just
insane,
the shit.
dude.
And he played it so well.
Agreed.
He's so funny. Now, if you see on screen, you see one of the big things that I didn't know. I see. All right, let's back up a little bit with all this, right? We are not comic book nerds, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not like super
finding
into
all the spots and what's going
books.
on. Yes.
So like we don't know how messed up this is compared to the comic books.
Correct.
Okay. So that's the biggest problem I feel when you see these reviews and you see things like that, because you know these movies, the movies are beyond the kind of niche of comics.
Yes.
Right? Not that comic books are niche. A lot of people read them, but what I'm saying is compared to like the amount of people who don't read them, right? The number is very small, right?
Yeah.
So like these movies are general entertainment, right? For people who don't follow that stuff. So I know Batman, I know the characters, but I'm not like reading a comic to see exactly
where the story goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So from the perspective of somebody who's not sitting there with a microscope saying, hold on, this is not what he would do, or this is not how he looks like, or this is not how he talks, right? That I don't know.
I don't know either.
So we're looking at this as us just watching it and enjoying
the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
So
there are a lot of surprises throughout the movie that are insanely, like, unexpected and
super
just
unexpected.
hype you up. It's almost, how long is the movie?
2 and change.
Yeah, it's over
like
2 hours long,
maybe.
And it doesn't feel that way though.
No, like it just kind of got us there. Like it was like, oh man, it ended.
It was like Avengers and then Deadpool. Like it has like those elements of like raw funny. And that's the thing. I felt like even Batman was funny. And I felt like that's what they couldn't do with their characters. They kind of take themselves like too seriously. They didn't want them sounding like goofy, and it lacked like bond amongst the characters, you know, amongst the heroes. It kind of felt like a little stiff because they always took themselves so seriously. And that was the difference, because in Avengers and what they've been able to do with Marvel is like they have this connection that you kind of fall in love with their relationship. Well, I feel like they gave us that in this movie as well.
Real quick.
Yes.
I see there's like a warning on the screen that says the text video in our stream belonging to someone else.
Okay.
And it may be blocked. So I'm just going to leave that paused.
Yes.
And we're no longer going to play video.
Agree. I like that.
I ain't about that life.
No, not at all.
So sorry if I looked like I was confused, but I saw this little notice and I wanted to
pause it out.
Stop that real quick. So hopefully it doesn't become an issue and we don't have to cut out that whole part that happened before. But continue. You finished what you were saying? I thought you sorry, like I said, I was looking at this thing. Okay, well, let me say then, again, when I sat here coming into this movie,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I thought it looked cool,
Mm-hmm.
but all the negative press really kind of brought it down for me, right? But I wanted to see it because, again, my birthday, I was like, fuck it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's watch it, right? So pleasantly surprised. So pleasantly surprised. In fact, again, I said it already, but I do look at it like it's the Avenger moment for DC. I feel like this was the perfect combination of everything you would want in a superhero movie.
Yes.
Got
A
the
hundred
the
percent.
comedy, you got the deep story, you got
The
the
story, yes, it
good
was
bad
deep,
guy.
and then it was well balanced though. And
Absolutely.
when the movie starts, by the way, it starts in such a way that you're like, what am I watching? And it was like the CGI was a bit off. And you were telling me how they
Yeah,
were.
I feel like I know people were talking about the CGI,
Mhm.
but I kind of feel like it was on purpose. Like it was purposely
Yes,
done because of the fact that like when you have like babies falling out of a
exactly. You
building,
don't want them to look
yeah, like you
real.
want
Like
it
you
to
want
be
to let,
pretty well
yeah, you
known
want
that
to let it be
these are not real
known.
babies.
Exactly, because obviously from what we've seen from them, we know what it can look like, right? And the fact that that was like one, like, I mean, it was like the only part for me that seemed like that.
There
And
was a few other things like where they were using some other people's likenesses,
okay,
which I also feel like when they showed Superman and like different, like it's almost like they needed to make sure that you can see that it was CGI, that it
yes,
wasn't the actual
the actual
actor there,
actor
so
in
that
it,
they have
yeah,
to
so they didn't have
pay
to
him.
pay. Yes,
But like that's what I was getting from the
yeah,
CGI. I feel like it was purposely done because then when
it
you
was
see
done
like
for a
the
reason.
alien
Yes,
CGI, like when they're fighting and doing all that
it's
stuff, it's
insane. It's
fucking perfection.
crazy.
So
Yes,
there's no way they were looking at this and they're like,
this is what we're
"This
gonna,
is the best we can do."
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I
we're
feel
gonna
like they
drop the ball
purposely
on.
did it. It would have
Exactly.
been weird to see real babies falling out. Obviously, they did it for like a comedic
Exactly. It was so
situation.
like Deadpool at that
It really
moment.
was so
Yes.
Deadpool.
And it worked out so well. I feel like you leave that movie after watching it and you know the Flash, you understand his story, why he was doing what he did, and you connect to the character.
Yeah.
Again, this guy is amazing. He
So
again played three different roles and it was insane.
so I think part of what people didn't like about the movie was the fact that there was um it seemed like they're making big changes,
Yes.
right? They're making like big moves, like not something that's just, oh, this is just another movie, right? Like they're literally making huge changes in this movie. Obviously, we don't know the repercussions of what this movie's going to be and what James Gunn is going to ultimately do after
Mhm.
everything that's been happening. But, some of the best moments in this movie is when I was taken back by the unexpected.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I didn't expect it
And it
is
had a lot of moments like that.
tons of moments like that. The biggest one for me, I would say right off the rip was when the Supergirl,
Yes.
right? Kara.
They were looking for Superman. They were
Yeah, they were
looking for
looking for Superman. I was
Kal-El.
like, oh, he has to
Yes.
be here because Zod is coming, right? So
Mhm.
Superman has to be in this world. And like, where is he? Then he wasn't
Yes.
in the world. Oh man, that moment when you kind of figured out who she was and how
Yes.
badass.
Yo, it was
Woo!
crazy. It was so exciting. So yes, dude, cuz he goes back in time, the Flash, and that's where it starts messing with the multiverse. And
That's that's
yes,
um that's Marvel's
and
wording. You know what I'm saying? This is just
yes,
like
because they
the other
explain very
verse.
clearly why those things don't make any sense.
Yeah, real
In
quick. Batman says the Flash got the Batman Beyond movie canceled. That
yeah,
sucks.
it did. And I'm listen, I don't know if that would have turned out well, but it shouldn't be a reason to stop any projects. I understand that a lot of money goes into this, but this feels like an Xbox moment where they want to like, force the situation. Um this movie was everything, dude.
Yeah,
And
James
it
Gunn needs to stick to his
he
guns
needs
and
to
like
stick to
just
what he
see his
wants
plan
to
through.
do exactly.
Because like the old stuff, as much as people like maybe are upset with the changes, they also didn't turn
It
up.
didn't work.
It didn't turn
It
up.
didn't work.
Like these movies were not crazy humongous. So it's like it's your fault.
Listen, I
Your
do
fault. He's
feel
changing it because of that.
yes, and I do feel like the movie was affected by the controversy that was taking place, right? So the fact that the actor had some charges, I don't know exactly how that went down. I don't know exactly what he did.
I don't believe
And
it.
obviously
He's innocent.
listen, and obviously
I have no
if he
idea. I
did
don't even know what it
something that
is.
wasn't right, I do believe that he needs to deal with the consequences of that. But I'm looking at the movie and I'm looking at what he did with it as an actor. Now we're looking at the fact that right before the movie was released, they fired Superman, who was people were
Quit
not
Witcher to go be Superman
exactly,
again.
and people were not happy with that. Henry Cavill.
Yep.
Aquaman got let go as well, right?
Did
Um,
he?
yeah, I think they all kind of did. And I forget
I think Wonder
Wonder
Woman's out.
Woman as well. Yes, they all kind of got cut off, I believe. Or maybe Aquaman was still not fully done.
Well,
I
Aquaman
don't
has
know.
another movie coming
But
out still.
that probably was under contract or just was running. But I think that he started firing people and he should have waited until this movie was released, maybe given it a moment, like hold back production. I don't know. But I think a lot took place that people weren't happy with that didn't allow this movie to have its moment to shine. You know?
Yeah, honestly, when I think now and I hear like the fact that the reviews were so bad,
Hmm.
it literally blows my mind because I don't know what we were like, what
What
I
did
was
they
watching
miss?
versus what everybody else was watching,
Exactly.
because there's no part of this that is even part of that conversation. That being said, I was talking to one of my employees, and we were talking about it for a minute,
Hmm.
a little bit, and like he was saying like that he just saw like the Batman clips. He didn't even want to watch the movie. It's like why?
Exactly. Like
I'm
if
saying
you
why?
have the movie or I don't know how you had access to it, but like just either watch it or don't.
Yeah,
Um
like I don't get it. Like I don't understand what about it is like again. If you're only following the reviews, right, then I guess it would be a major turnoff to watch, right? Like why watch
this
it?
is so annoying though. Like I've been saying like this shouldn't happen anymore. You should either go to the movies if you see the trailer and you want to see it or wait for it to come out in one of the streaming services or just freaking go buy it. Like I it's so frustrating the fact that like Black Adam had the same situation
That
going
movie was
on
fucking
and the
great,
movie
dude.
was great. And I love the casting as well. And it's just the critics, they go ahead and they trash things that and they do the same thing with video games. And this I feel like this just kind of needs to stop because it's a situation where they kind of hold like the future of what a movie's going to be in their hands and go ahead and kind of I feel like they're getting reckless with it. There was a time when we could kind of trust that. But it's like day and night the opinions versus what we're watching and I don't know.
And you see that a lot in like the reviews where it's like the critics review versus
Mhm.
like the people's review.
Yes.
Um
People are loving the
yeah,
movies
like
and the
people like
critics are
things and then the
trashing.
critics are
Yes.
trashing it. It's like they're so I mean, I guess there's a certain point like how do you maybe blame them a little bit because there's so much shit to review, right? Like
Yes.
there's like they have so much that they have in front of them that they may just be like, oh, I just saw this and it was great, and this compared to this, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And it's like I just feel like the perspective that things are being reviewed on it doesn't make any sense to me. Like these things shouldn't be reviewed from like a hardcore like comic book
Comic
person,
book, yes.
right? Like it shouldn't be, because there's a lot of people who don't give a shit about the comic book and only know the characters
From
through
the movies,
movies and video
yes.
games, right? Like that's the
Exactly.
way I know every character. I know zero comic situation.
Agreed.
So when I watch this movie, it's like, again, ticking off every box you can want from one of these types of movies. It's hilarious,
It
great
is.
action,
Oh my gosh.
stunning, and it's like leaves all the things that you may just assume would happen and they don't necessarily happen,
Mhm.
um like the woman who plays his old college,
Yes.
you know, whatever, they were friends, and he like had feelings for her,
Mhm.
but like he's like a white guy and she's like a Spanish slash black, um, you know, relatively not super skinny. Like it's a very
Yeah.
different.
They did take a different take, and I don't know if this is how the comics are, um, but I love that, right? Like,
Yeah, that's dope. Like they didn't
they
just
didn't
follow the
go with
typical mold.
exactly, exactly.
It
So
was
I
like,
was very happy about that.
yeah, no,
Um,
it's so well done.
it is.
Um, but when we come to the other people,
Mhm.
right? Because I alluded to it a couple times and then things happen, but um, Kara,
Oh my gosh,
yo,
she was
perfect
amazing.
casting of her.
Yes,
Perfect casting of her. She was so cool. Her voice is like the right type of voice. She had a good like strength to her.
agreed.
That moment when she rose up, dude, when she got saved and shit,
Mhm.
that was so cool.
It was so badass. The suit looked great on her.
Yep.
And again, her acting, and this is something we were talking about, is so raw. Like it's not like it came from a place where it was connected to her feelings, and her
Yes.
strength at the same time. It wasn't just I'm powerful or I can do this or whatever. It was so connected and you felt what she was feeling. Like it was insane. Um
Absolutely.
so I really enjoy the fact that she was in the movie. Batman too, by the way.
Yo.
There's so
Oh my
much.
god, dude.
There's so much Batman in
So
there.
much Batman. First of all, Ben Affleck killed it being Batman
He
right off the
did.
rip.
He
They
did.
even gave you a legit reason to make Batman funny.
Yes, they did.
A legit reason. They
It
had Wonder
was
Woman with her
yep.
lasso, and he had the bad guy in his hand, but the truth
The
lasso was
truth,
around
yeah.
her.
So he
So
started blabbing things
he just
out.
started saying shit like, like I'm way too cocky or brooding to ever say thank you to you.
Yes, my ego won't
My
let me.
ego won't let me.
Yes.
Like it was just funny.
It
It was
just
delivered
went with
perfectly.
him. And when have I've never heard Batman make a joke that, at least not one that
Like
landed,
that. Like that.
that
Like purposely funny.
yes, because the best jokes are kind of like when we see our character and we make fun of it,
Yep.
But yeah, that was well done. What I say about Ben Affleck though, I was like, yo, why does his face look like it's melting? And see,
Oh.
Money turns around, he's like, he's old. He's
fucking
old, all right?
Let him get
Yeah,
old,
get
okay?
old.
That's what's happening to us. We're all getting old. Ben Affleck can't
Yo.
look like he was 20 forever.
That was fun.
Listen, shit happens, man.
And then
I think he played a good Batman.
he
get
did well. And
then we got
get
the best
OG,
one.
right? Yes. Who
Fucking
was,
Michael Keaton, bro.
yo, he was so good.
Some
And
Michael.
okay, so I did love the fact that his suits were like
Yes,
from back in
they
the day.
brought you back
They
to
brought you back to who
Batman,
Batman
bro.
used to be, right?
Oh my god.
Yo, it was like, okay, so when he would do something, it was thought out. Like you see him thinking, trying to figure it out. It wasn't like a choreography. It had like it was crazy. I'm like, okay, this is also a good message. Batman is smart, right? Not just strong. He's not gonna go ahead and he had his gadgets.
He's not a superhero.
Yo. It was crazy.
He's just dope.
He was
Batman
really
is
cool.
the
The
shit.
fighting too, it was so fast. Like it had
Dude.
this back in the day, yet still modern. It was so good,
Dude, when they were looking for Superman and they got into that place where all the bad guys were down there
Yeah.
and the Flash and the other Flash were down there and they were about to get like fucked up because there were so many people with
Yep.
guns and Batman just looked down and he was like, he said some shit like this is gonna be bad or crazy or some shit and he just fucking didn't care. Jumped down,
Yeah.
busted ass, used his cape to deflect the bullets.
Oh my gosh,
used
I
his
feel like the
gadgets.
cape, we don't see that so much anymore. Like the use of it, like it's like
Yeah, man.
bulletproof. So he's blocking the bullets. Once they're out, he comes in. Yo, it was fucking like
It's so dope, and it
yeah.
hurts him. You can see like it's hitting him. You know, like he
Yes.
feels it, but it's not killing him because it's bulletproof. But like you just they showed it all,
Yeah.
right? Like they showed that nuance, and I really just I couldn't get enough of it. man.
I enjoyed the
couldn't
crap
get
out
enough of it.
it.
Like
He did so well. First they had him all hairy, and you're like, who the heck is this? And
yes, and they explained that whole multi. I don't know what DC's calling it, but the universe that they're creating that has different breaks. They explained it in a brand new way.
Yes.
That essentially shits on Marvel and what they're doing with their multiverse. Because first of all, I'm really sick of their multiverse.
I really am.
Like
I am
so
too.
sick of it.
Beyond.
Can't stand it. It's so
It's
whack.
kind of like they do something and then it was like, no, it didn't happen. We just take it all back. But you can't do that
because time is not linear.
Yes.
So instead of
they literally explained it with like spaghetti.
Yeah, they did. Instead of having you go back in time to this point, Marvel says, well, when you go here, from here, there's many different ways that it could have gone. But because time is not linear, the way it's supposed to be is when that happens, you don't go back and everything that happened before that is the same.
No.
Because anything could have changed up to that point because you're resetting it. So it more
makes
like
two different ones, and then there's like
parallel.
crossing points.
Holy shit! I was
intersections that those are like points where you can go.
So it's
back
not only
to
changing the end result, but it also changes the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we ended up with Michael Keaton as Batman because Ben Affleck was Batman in his timeline, but then when he went back, it changed who the person was.
Because you're on a different line. Yes.
Batman. Sick.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Sick. And it even changed the time that he was Batman because Michael Keaton is older. So they use that as a way of showing like, yeah, the person that became Batman actually did it sooner. So he's older now. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Yo, but
so sick.
The scene, though, going back to like the Flash, right? Because the scene when he's in his room and he's with the roommates, yo, they're freaking hilarious.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Like everything just had like you could miss things. There's this guy doing push-ups in like the craziest way. It's freaking hilarious. But there's a different scene taking place and you just see him in the background doing this stupid crap and you're just wilding out.
Like it's one of those movies that if you watch it once,
you need to watch it.
Miss shit. So like you should watch it again and you'll probably catch something that you didn't see last time because they're so smart with it.
Yeah.
Like there's just things that are happening that if you're just like listening and focusing on the story that's happening, you may miss the other
something
things.
Else,
but
yes.
It's so good.
It's very smart. It's very smart the way that they did everything. And again, going back to the fact that he's playing different characters, it also puts a lot of perspective with like your life, right? Like how how it makes who you are, considering the things that you've been through, right? Because the other one is so light.
So this is a story, right? So the Flash in the beginning, right? So when he was small, he lost his mother. Okay. And then when he became the Flash and he's been the Flash for a while, he ended up being able to go so fast that he didn't realize it, but he got into a situation where he could actually go back into time.
Yeah.
So because he figured out he can do that, he started thinking of, holy shit, like I can stop my mother from
from
dying.
dying. Now, the mess up thing is that his father went out and he came in at the exact time, and his father's in jail, and he knows his father didn't do it
Because he knows his
because he
father
was
wasn't
home.
there, and he saw the
Yes.
father come home after the situation happened.
Yeah,
But there's nothing to prove that the
exactly.
father wasn't there, and so he was in jail. So
Yes.
he's going back in time, but when he goes back in time, he meets himself, like the version of him who grew up with parents
Yes.
because
And
he
it's a
stopped it.
totally different person.
Yeah, like being able to see them both be who they are.
And understand what made them that way. Like obviously
Yes.
he lost his mother, and his father's in jail. So he had to grow up, and he had all this pain inside of him and this lack of confidence. Yet the other one has this like confidence and this free spirit
And it's
and
happiness and like
this
joy.
joy. And dude, the fact that this actor is able to portray them both like that, it's insane. The bounce between the two of them, and it's the same person. It's like chemistry like no other.
Yeah. That that's a whole nother thing too. People were talking about the CGI, but the fact that they had both of them on the
Mhm.
screen for the majority of the time, and
Yes.
it was perfectly done where they interact with each other. They
It was
landed jokes
seamless.
perfectly
Yes.
with
And
each
you
other.
literally asked, does he have a twin?
Yeah, like I
He
thought that the
thought,
way they were
yeah.
doing the movie, I just thought that
Yeah.
they somehow had him duplicated.
Dude, when this guy goes and he gets shot, he's like,
Uh
I'm gonna lose my He screams, first of all, like no other. And then he's like, you never told me I couldn't get shot. He's like, I never told you you couldn't.
yeah,
Like,
like
why would
why
you
would you
assume
assume
that?
that you couldn't? Oh
Yo, the
man.
movie itself was perfection. It was hilarious. We had to come and tell you guys because we could not believe that it was being reviewed the way it
So
was.
that's the bigger question, right? So why is this movie so amazing yet people are out here
Mhm.
acting as if it's not, right? Like that's
I feel
that's the part that blows my mind. Like
Well, I
I
feel
just don't
horrible
get it.
for the actors and the people that put all their time into it to have a he says, she says situation affecting the movie and not what it's supposed to do. Like that's mad shady. Um, to give your all the way that you see like this actor playing three characters in the same movie and then be devalued. Yo,
I mean, the the real life scenario sucks for the people for sure. But just talking about the movie itself,
yeah.
right? Like just the physical movie that we watched, the people who are out there saying it's not good.
Hmm.
I 100% can easily, without a doubt, say they are absolutely wrong to say that it's one of the worst movies out there or some crazy shit like that
It's one of the best
without
movies I've
biases.
seen.
Now, the thing is again, we're not following Etra Miller. We don't know what he
Mhm.
did. Maybe what he did was really bad, and people are boycotting the movie for it, or they're
Yeah.
review bombing it because of him. I don't know. I know he got out of jail, so I don't know what that means. I don't know
Yeah.
if he
I
did it
agree.
or if he didn't do it. Who knows? Um, but aside from that, it's almost like is there a bias? Is this like a Xbox and PlayStation thing where like a
Yeah,
Marvel fan
right?
is reviewing the DC
Right? Oh
movie,
my
so
gosh.
they're out there talking
Trashing
shit and
it,
trashing
right?
it?
Like that
You know what I'm
would be
saying? Like
insane.
that's like if a PlayStation fanboy reviewed the next, Hellblade or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna do it with a spin, right, to make themselves look good. I feel like maybe the world is dominated more by Marvel
Marvel fans,
fans,
right?
so when they see a DC movie, they want to go ahead and trash it.
Maybe. All I can say is that I'm not a DC fan. Normally I watch like the Batman movies because you're super into
Love
Batman.
Batman.
I do love Venom. Like he's super funny. I love his character. Um and like this movie's legit. So, like, this is coming from somebody who's not a fan. Wait, Venom is not.
Venom is definitely
Is
Marvel.
yeah.
I thought
Never
you were
mind.
gonna go somewhere else.
Never mind. But
Clearly,
Joker. That's what I
not
was thinking about.
not.
Joker. Madman likes the Joker movie a lot.
Yes,
But
Joker movie was good.
yes, but so I'm very particular. I don't just. I don't necessarily like DC like that. And the Superman that I did like was Smallville because they made WB made a show
Back
and
in the day, now
back in the day, yes.
that's wild.
But the show was so good and it was about Clark, like young Superman, and his stories and I really fell in love with that. And it's like this movie, I can literally say like it's so freaking perfect. It's so good. Not as somebody who's a fan of DC.
Dude, like there was no like lulls. And real quick, Madman's in the chat saying Joker's the best DC movie out there. It's a really good movie
Yeah, it
for sure.
is.
Um, but
100%.
like the it's not just the content of the movie; it's the pacing of the movie. Whoever edited this movie
Oh my gosh.
is
Yeah.
is god tier,
Yeah.
because there was no part of the movie where I was like, "What am I watching?
Mhm.
Like, why is this happening?" Like maybe that beginning, you can like where the babies were falling out the
Yeah.
building. People, I could imagine maybe people
It
might have
was
been like, "Oh,
off-putting
this is
'cause
cringe" or some
yeah.
bullshit like that. I found it funny. I found it like a Deadpool moment. Like
That's what it
it
felt
was a
like to me. It
funny.
felt like so Deadpool the way that they did it. And at the same time, again, they did mess with the CGI and you know that they're not, real. But I looked at you and I was like, where are they going with this? Like, what's happening? But past that, it's just like
Yeah,
right
it's
into
just
it.
just the rest was all fire.
Even the
But
way
I
he
just felt like it
saved,
was a tonal piece in the beginning, like just
yeah,
kind of setting the tone, letting you know, like, listen, this is not, we're not taking ourselves super serious, even though there's serious topics, right?
yeah,
Serious topic, baby falling out of building, serious topic, but it's not taken to that extent, right? It's a lighter piece in that way. So they obviously he saves all the babies, but in a funny way. Got one in
yo,
a
so
fucking microwave, and
hilarious.
he's like just touching them, and he's like throwing things, and you're like, what is he doing? But like then it shows you that he fucking perfectly timed that throw.
It was almost to explain how fast he is. The
Yes.
way that, like, because it's like, hurry up. But he's moving so fast that even though these things, he can see everything. And even though these things are happening and it seems fast to us, like to him, they're going in a very slow motion pace.
Yeah. So like, look, so Madman is saying like the baby in the microwave was so stupid, right?
Yeah.
So cringe to say the least, right? So this is it, right? So he is talking like the people who are talking crap about the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like again, I don't know how serious we need everything to be, but that's what
Exactly.
DC always was, right? DC was the serious place, and Marvel figured out that people preferred the
Hmm.
comedy over the seriousness, right? So this was, I don't look at it that way. I watched it. I felt like it was funny. It was
And maybe
crazy that he
that's
was doing
why it
this.
was so difficult to like take in because they're not used to seeing DC heroes behaving this way. But like we've seen Deadpool, right? We've seen the Avengers, we've seen like what they do and how they can behave, right? So I don't know. I didn't it's a movie.
Yeah, like it's still a movie for entertainment purposes. And
Yes.
I thought it was funny. Put the baby in the microwave to save it. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. And he did it. It was funny, yo. It was bad random.
But even the way that he placed them all and the way he pulled them off, like it was kind of like, I don't know, it was like a, why not? Let's throw that in the beginning just to set the mood of
Yeah.
how silly this can
And
get.
they did a really, they you brought it up, but they did a really good job with showing us how fast
Hmm.
he actually is.
Yeah.
Like the way that he can, you know, move around things, and they visualize it in such a way where it's like, okay, he's like moving super fast around these things that are moving super slow. Like when he was in front of his mother towards
Oh
the
my
end,
gosh,
and
yeah.
that was a super touching
Emotional
moment,
moment,
by the way.
yes.
And he's like, she literally just moved her hand away from his face, and he went to go take the tomatoes out of the
But
thing.
he talked, and then he went, and you see the pain that he's feeling. Because now it's like, no, I can't change this,
Yep.
you know? Um, and maybe the stubbornness of wanting to change something keeps him from not just moving on, but affecting everything around him. And I think that's such a big message in that movie. Like, you can't change the past,
Yes,
right?
and
You
it's
can
everything has an effect. That butterfly
exactly.
effect is real.
You can fix it. You can't change it. You can fix what it does with your life and how you are from then
Yeah,
on,
you can
right? You
control
can
how
control
you handle
exactly.
it and what you do from it. Like
Yeah.
Batman, right? When he talked to the Flash, Michael Keaton, and he said like, I lost my parents when I was young,
Yeah.
and like that shaped who I am today.
Mhm.
Like I don't even know who I would be had that not happened.
Yeah.
Right? And like that's just the trajectory that he went off because of what happened. And you saw with the Flash when he had his moment, and then you saw him when he didn't have it, right? So
And who he
his
was.
life
Yeah.
without his family, and then he saw himself with a family, and it's like, wow, like look at how different the scenario was,
Exactly.
right? And like how impactful things are to people.
Mhm.
I just love that every time there was a new Batman.
I
You
know.
know what I'm saying? Because it
Guys,
shows you
all the
like
way
it's
till
like
the end
that's how much things change from just
from just a
the
little
one
thing.
little change made everything
Dude,
else
and
change.
we feel like I feel like yeah, there's like a moment in time to take your shot and kind of like, but at the end of the day, like destiny kicks in, like what's supposed to happen, that's just the way things are supposed to go, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just seems like it's I don't know. They played it really, really well. And they made you feel things and like you felt emotional, you felt sad.
Yeah.
But then also by the end, you feel happy for the guy because he's finally kind of
Acceptance, and
accepted
he
it.
can move on and have a life, right? Because this lack of confidence, the girl even asked him out at the end, and it's like, the other him just was just secure and like wild, and he had dates. This guy wasn't even strong enough to want to go ahead and approach that, you know
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
but
absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, again, this movie has been getting roasted out in these streets.
it
I
has.
saw on Twitter somebody saw it and they were feeling like we did, like they don't understand,
Yeah.
right? And I guess there's just going to be a subset of people, but I feel this plays into like the bigger story of all these reviews, man. Like we live in a world where like reviews are becoming less and less relevant
Agreed.
because there's so many opinions out there. It's so easy to get a hold of the content yourself, right? That it's like I don't know. I'm not feeling the way reviews are going. Black Adam was a fucking good movie, man. Like
Mhm.
we did one of our her hymns and Mike on it just to talk about
Because
this
we felt
basically same
the same,
idea.
yes.
It's like why are they doing this? Like why
Yeah.
are people saying this shit? Yeah, then meanwhile, this is the shit that blows my mind. Meanwhile, I go watch one of the fucking Spider-Man movies, the
Oh my
one with
gosh,
the
yeah.
with Doctor Strange in it. I fucking fall asleep,
Yeah.
and people think it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? That shit put my ass to sleep.
Exactly.
It put me to sleep. Like I
Yes.
was wide awake enjoying the movie. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Listen.
I don't know, man. It's it's wild. It's wild how it is. I honestly as I feel like Marvel bias is real.
Yeah. It's potentially true.
I feel like that. Hey Paige, welcome. How you
Hey,
doing?
to welcome love.
Um
But yeah, I agree.
remember that the Super Mario Brother movie was hated by critics. Well, Yeah, I mean, it seems like critics are, I don't know, like they're
Critics need a new
tired.
job.
Yeah,
Critics
like
need to get
fire them all and
fired.
like hire a whole bunch of new
Reset.
people.
We need some fresh minds in there that are going to like come in looking at something and appreciating it for what it is. I feel like maybe everything is to just bundle up together. Somebody who's, and I don't know how they separate these critics.
I
Like,
don't know. I think there's
like
too many teams
doing
that are
this,
picked.
doing
You know what I'm
different
saying?
things. Like they should be a little more linear. Like the way that you know how I say all the time, like Mammy will ask me what's your favorite movie, and I'm like, well, which branch, right? Like the person that is reviewing the Notebook should not be reviewing Batman, right? Like those are
Yeah,
completely different things, you
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, I mean, and look again, we don't know who's doing it, but I can tell you that it it feels like Marvel, even though Marvel gets ripped, right? I feel like even how Marvel movies are getting ripped, they still don't compare to like the beatdown that these DC movies are getting. And it's like, come on, man, like this is good fucking shit. Obviously, nobody can say anything about the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson
Yes,
because that shit was amazing. I don't know if out there in the reviewing world people were giving it
trashing
shit, but
it.
there was no way that movie was fucking phenomenal. Joker, same thing,
Yeah,
phenomenal, right? But those are their own things. And then now with like this extended universe, they uh, they have done it the best way
I agree.
since, I would say, since the Avengers,
That's what I feel.
since the
This is the
Avengers
best movie I've seen since the Avengers of this type of
superhero
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I can't think of any movie that was
That was so
better.
complete.
Yeah,
Like
like
this
even
movie,
like
that's the
Spider
word
Man
for
and
it. It's
stuff like
literally
that.
it's complete.
Like Tom Holland Spider Man movies are good, but I still prefer this
Not this
movie.
level.
I
Not this
prefer this
level of
movie.
good. This movie had everything in
Like
it.
I wouldn't go back to watch Spider Man.
I will watch this again.
I
I've
watch
watched
this
it
right
twice
now.
already, guys.
Yeah, I
Guilty.
literally I would
I've
watch it
watched
right
it
now.
twice and I will watch it again and again and again because I feel like you miss little things.
Yeah, dude.
It's just it's so balanced with the action, the funny, the story. It has everything in there. And just like those elements of surprise with again the Batmans and everything else in it, like yo, it's just again the and I was like, okay, this is a great freaking movie. This movie's amazing, blah blah blah. But like, it's just complete. It has
Everything.
everything you
The
could
attention to
want.
detail they did, bringing in Michael Keaton's Batman
Hmm.
and understanding that he
Yo,
stopped.
he brought out a flip phone,
Dude,
guys.
he stopped being Batman. So
Yeah,
when he stopped being Batman, he stopped upgrading his tech. Yo, they had the original fucking
the
the
Batmobile,
Batwing.
or yeah, the
Oh my god.
yo,
It
it
would
was
look
crazy,
so dope.
guys.
It was all like old technology, but it was fucking it worked.
Yeah.
And it just felt so good to see it.
Hmm.
Cause I love Batman and like getting to see like the
Yeah.
old dope Batman movies from back in the day when they really, technology, Batman in as far as in like live action, in the beginning, right? It was limited to technology, right? They couldn't
Yes.
put CGI in there to make him look like
Exactly.
he's doing crazy shit beyond belief,
It's
right?
it's like the old ways in the modern world where we
Exactly.
have all this technology, so it's like the best of everything
It's
because
like a
I feel
2D
like
HD game. You know what I'm saying? It's
yes.
like the 2D game, but now it's HD. So it's like, oh man, it's like a whole new way.
Because
This
let's
was
keep
really
it
good.
real. There was a lot more creativity going on.
Yeah, because you couldn't
Back
just
in the
solve
day.
it with the computer.
Yes.
You had to figure it out and make
Mhm.
it really dope. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's
It
what they
was
did.
excellent. And again, I cannot say about this actor enough great things to have played three characters and delivered each of them individually, differently, exceptionally. Like it was amazing what he did.
Yep. And everybody
Aside, like
played a
his
great role. Everybody who was in the movie was really
let's not we don't know these actors personally. We don't know what they do. We can only judge what the work that they do, right? Their movies. And dude,
good. Well,
amazing.
as an actor,
As an actor,
not as a
yeah. Not
person.
as a person.
We don't know who
Exactly.
they
We
are.
don't know them. Exactly. we're judging their work. And as an actor, dude,
Yeah, he killed it.
he killed
He
it.
killed it.
He killed it.
He should
Yeah, it
definitely
could
be
not
the
have been
next
better.
Flash. You know, like he should be in the next Flash movie.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, when again, we said it, spoilers are out there. Yo, when George Clooney at the end
Oh my God, you guys!
was the Batman in the
I lost
past
it.
world,
You lost it. Like, that was crazy.
yo, that
like,
shit
yo,
had me going.
he came out walking like such a boss, though.
Like,
Like,
this is
he
the thing.
looked so good.
So the thing about George Clooney is that he's
got
like the
swag.
Batman. He's like the Batman that wasn't Batman.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was talking to the guy that I was talking to before, and he brought up a good point. It's like when you think about all the Batmans, like you think about Michael Keaton, right?
Yes.
It's like, yo, that's
Batman.
fucking Batman, right? If you see Christian Bale, right, from the Dark Knight trilogy, it's like
Batman.
right? You see George Clooney, it was like, well, you played him, you know, like you played Batman in
Yeah.
one of your movies, but like nobody sits there and is like,
George Clooney is
Clooney is
not
Batman.
known for Batman, but also because he's George Clooney as
he's done, like, a
well,
lot of
guys.
shit.
He's done a
He's
lot.
done a
Like,
lot of shit.
you can't go back and be like, what has he done? Well, he was Batman. Like, it's George Clooney.
You know what's funny? What I remember George Clooney, when I think of George Clooney,
Dust, yep.
from fucking Dust to Dawn, bro. That's my favorite role that he's ever played.
Yeah.
Ever.
So, but like, it's George Clooney, dude. And he came out with such swag.
No, he
like,
did.
He wasn't rocking the suit. He was in that pimped out car. Yo,
Same
it
car
was so
as the other dude,
unexpected,
but that
too.
was
Like,
so dope.
it was like,
I was not expecting that.
what?
I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be Ben Affleck back, but nope.
No.
George Clooney.
And this is
Changed the
why,
game.
again, this explains why they can wipe out all the characters and they might want to clean the house and reset. You know? And everything.
That's what gets me excited.
Yes.
Because I feel like it was so like mundane. Like we already knew everything. That's the same. That's why the multiverse bullshit from Marvel, it's like
Played
their
out.
desperate attempt to just like change shit because they know they're kind of stuck on this one path outside of the multiverse.
Like, they don't want to stop it because they're in too deep.
Yep.
And
so
I
they have to
felt
like say it's, oh well, this is in one world. Let's talk about another world now.
Yeah. They went in too deep. And then it was like, well, what? It was almost like, you know, that show they did, What If? They sat there and they were like, what if we do this? What if we do that? Well, let's just throw it out there and see how people deal with it. And they just fell into a hole of a mess. And like, I honestly, I don't know how people kept going for that long just backing the stuff. You know?
I mean, they had to do something, right? So they sat there and they made it, but they took it too far.
They did.
And it's just almost like a mockery of what
everything.
they were. Like, again, peak hero movies, the Endgame, the Avenger saga, right? All of the Avenger movies, that was peak. Then after that, it's just
honestly, like
hill, man.
the last one, Infinity War, I think it was,
Endgame,
or the Endgame. Like, they had me like, I was kind of out by those last two. I was
but it was
like,
finishing
okay.
the story, so that's why it still was engaging.
I didn't like the way it all played out, but yeah, like.
Well, but you know why? Because you knew that in real life they wanted out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they didn't want to keep making those movies, like the actors, right? They were done with it. So that's why I kind of tainted it, because it's like, you're making this happen because you're trying to sunset that character because the character doesn't want to work anymore, which fucking blows, because they were the shit. Like, if they were still, I tell you right now,
if they were still in
if
it,
they were
deep
still
in the rooted ones,
everything would still be good, because you would put one every once in a while in a different movie.
But they were putting them in too much. That was also a part of the problem. Like, it wasn't an individual movie anymore with a little bit of elements of other people. It was like a combined situation that was taking place at that point.
Well, think about this. The only kind of franchise outside of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And how did they do that?
Through
With Iron Man.
Yes.
Right? They lashed them onto Iron Man, and then they went ahead. Oh, okay. The stream had an issue for a second. Yeah, the stream glitched. But they used it. They used Iron Man.
Yeah.
And that got Spider-Man going and got him off to the races, and that's why his movies are doing well, which is
Yeah.
good. But then they're still trying to do that, but with the lesser characters that are not the fucking Avengers.
Yeah.
So don't put Doctor Strange in a movie thinking that he's gonna save shit. He's not gonna save anything. Doctor Strange had a dope first movie.
Oh my gosh. I
First
remember
movie,
watching
fire.
it at the time. I was like, yo, this is like one of my favorite movies that they've made. But like, then it's like they OD you. They like it's too much with all of their characters. And I get it. They're like, okay, we're making money. This is how this is popping right now. Let's keep going until it's not popping anymore. But like, you still got to give us quality stuff. You know?
I mean, not that they're not trying, right? So it's just a story that it's like so convoluted now, like with so much bullshit.
Mhm.
It's just too much. It's just too much. Like I don't want to fucking like get the fuck out of here with these multiverses, bro. Like I don't want it. Like this movie was so perfect because it gave him a reason to want to do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Like
it's
a
not that it's
substantial
just some other
reason.
fucking world. Like
Yes.
like Spider-Man, like all right, Man loves Spider-Man into the
Yes, he does.
Spider-Verse, the Across the Spider-Verse, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So
Tara, welcome, baby.
what's up, Shin? So okay, Across the Spider-Verse, right? We watched the movie. Good movie, right?
Yes. Across the Spider-Verse?
Oh no. I watched the movie
Or are
with
you
Purple
talking
Berry.
about Tom?
Across the second
Okay.
one. The Across the
Okay.
Spider-Verse, right? So the cartoon.
The animated. Yes.
So we watched it, right? It was good.
Yes.
But all of these Spider-Mans from different universes, right? They have their own universe, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be fucking Spider-Man in their universe. Why were they all in this fucking place? Every single Spider-Man in the
Why are they
world
together?
was in this
In
place.
the
Why?
same spot. Like
Why?
it makes no damn
They're
sense.
supposed to be fucking Spider-Man
Somewhere else.
in their place. So
In
there
their
was no
place.
Spider-Man.
Nobody's saving the day.
Nobody's saving shit.
No friendly
Everybody's dead.
neighborhood Spider-Man saving the day.
Villains taking
They're
over everywhere.
all in there.
I want to see
doing their
that
thing.
story told.
Right?
I want the villain story for Across the
When
Spider-Verse.
he disappeared from
What
every
happened?
dimension.
Because every villain was like, yo,
He ain't around,
when somebody like breaks something like, shh. Yo, Spidey ain't here. Let's go.
Let's wreck this
And then they
bitch.
just took over. That's what
Yeah.
happened. Because every Spider-Man known across all the universes were in this headquarters
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
To fight who? Fucking Miles Morales.
Yeah.
To chase him.
To
They
chase
gave
him down.
up every single
They
universe.
gave up saving their world,
Yeah.
their universe,
Their own
to
universes
go hunt down another Spider-Man.
to stop Miles
Mm-hmm.
from saving his fucking parents. Who cares?
Yeah.
What does that?
What does
Go
that have to
do
do
it,
with
bro.
you?
I
It's
gotta
a
go back to
different-
work.
Yeah,
I
he's
gotta
in
go
a
protect
different.
my family.
He's in a different universe too. So whatever he does with that, that's his situation.
Yo,
Right?
it's so asinine, bro.
But
It's
yeah,
so
when you think of that, it's
asinine,
like what
dude.
was going on around that time, guys.
It's
like
so stupid.
Like it
doesn't
needs to make
sense,
sense. And this is what this movie gave us. Things that made sense, that gelled together, purpose. Yo, The Flash.
Yeah, they did
Perfection.
it. They did it. They didn't. Again, he had a reason. He figured. First of all, he didn't. It wasn't just.
By the way,
There's
it makes sense the way that he would do it, right? Like The Flash, how he can go back because he moves so freaking fast.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's the whole thing about
it makes
time and all that
sense.
stuff, right? So
yeah,
but he didn't try to do this. He didn't wake up one morning and said, "Man,
yeah,
you know what I want to do? I want to go
back in
back in time."
yeah.
Right? No, right? He was just going
In
really
his
fast.
own pain, he was going fast. You know how like you push something sometimes, you zone out. That's what happened to him. He zoned out,
Yep.
kept running, and he ended up in this place where he got to choose moments.
Yeah,
And
dude.
that's how it happened.
Yeah, and he just went so fast that he stumbled across the idea that he could do it, right? Like he
Yeah.
just was like, "Oh shit, I can go back in time."
Yeah.
And then that made him say,
Well, what?
"Holy
Yeah.
shit, I can go back. If I can go back, maybe I can save my mother, stop that thing from happening."
Yeah.
Right? And then he went and did that, But then once eventually later in the movie, he realizes that you couldn't change the fate,
Yeah.
right? So yes, he saved his mother from being murdered, but he couldn't stop that planet from being destroyed, right? So she
Exactly.
was gonna die no matter how you cut it,
And
right?
a
And
lot
he
of
was gonna
other
die,
people.
right?
And a
Like,
lot of other people too.
yeah, like
You
everybody was
know,
gonna die.
for that split moment.
So, but once he realized that, the other version of him was like, no, 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 we can go back in time and save everybody.
Yeah. And he just kept
And
going.
he just
and
kept
going.
going. And yo, when
But this
when
is
when
the
he
thing.
turned into that
Being
thing,
into that monster, right?
yo,
Like
that shit
different
was so
people.
fucking dope,
And it
bro.
was crazy because you feel like his pain. He's like, I almost got it figured out.
Yeah,
It's
like he's just trying
oh
and
man,
trying.
like you can't do it. Like you can't do it. Like it was, but it's you feel so much, right? And then it dawned on the other one. Yeah, this is not.
Yeah,
This is
so
not
that's when he
happening.
jumped in front and the whole
Yeah.
thing went down. But it's like, I feel like when you start, I feel like the way that this movie proves how good it is when you start picking apart the other movies that are out there that are
Yeah.
doing this shit. And it's like they just don't do it they just do it to say it exists.
Exactly.
There's many different multiverse. Like we just watched however many years of movies, okay? And guess what? This was just one line of
Mhm.
the fucking history of movies that we could have watched.
Yeah.
Because if they would have flipped the coin, they all could have been, crab monsters in that universe, and
Yeah.
there would have been movies about that. Like it's just like it's almost like in Marvel, they're making it just to make it easier for them.
Yes, and that's okay. So that's my annoyance. It's almost
It's like a
like
convenience.
to justify all of the things that they want to bend on, or
Like,
like
you kill somebody,
if they want to bring
I can
somebody
bring 'em back.
Yes, and the excuse multiverse or whatever the heck they want to call it, right? And you can do that. Like it's used to not push further because and that's what I feel we got with this movie. When I say it was complete, there are no questions that were unanswered, right? And it made sense. It wasn't just delivered like, okay, well, this is what's happening, and we throw two words. It was detailedly, like, in not in a tedious way where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to hear this. It was delivered right.
Yes,
Dude.
and I'm glad you said that because they were also very self-aware
Mm-hmm.
and not in a make fun of it like fourth wall bullshit,
Yeah.
but like smartly acknowledging, right? Like so uh the Flash was talking to the new Flash, right?
Yeah.
And he went to explain to him what the suit was made of and
Oh my
why
gosh. Yeah.
his suit won't catch on fire, but the other guy's suit will
Yes.
explode. And he was just about to start going into the scientific breakdown of the suit.
Mhm.
And when he turned and looked at the guy, he fell asleep.
He fell asleep. Yeah.
Right. So in the movie, he fell asleep because he was exhausted because he just started learning how to run and do all this stuff. So he was tired. But
The message
the message
yeah,
is, hey guys, I know that you don't give a flying fuck what that
yeah.
suit is made of, right? But again, that's the masses, right? The masses, like the majority of us don't give a shit.
Yes.
Not the people who are studying, watching the movie with
And
their
with
comic
the
book
comics
open,
out, yeah, making
like saying,
sure that
hold
it
on, what did you say that was
follows.
made of? No, no, no. In
But-
episode
and there
4044, it shows that was the old fabric that was used. They
Yo.
have since upgraded that fabric.
Oh my gosh. It's funny,
I'm not mocking
true,
people
though.
who do it. I'm saying
No, it's
in the
funny
movie
because
world,
it's true.
it's just silly.
true that some people are like that, right?
It's like if I go pick up a comic book right now and I review it.
Yeah.
I don't read any fucking comic books, but I'm like, yo, this Flash in this book does not look like my Flash in the movie. He doesn't talk like him. He's
And
not funny
which one
like
do you
him.
prefer? You prefer
This-
the movie,
this-
right?
this
So this
comic is horrible.
It's horrible.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like you can't cross streams.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
like keep your comic shit with your comic shit. your movie shit with your movie shit,
and
and your
enjoy
video game
both
shit with your
for
video
what
game
they
shit.
are. Enjoy
separate
everything for
entities.
what it is. There are a lot
Yes.
of people that didn't enjoy the Halo show because they're
Yep.
into the story of Halo, and it's
That's
like
not my Master Chief. First of all,
appreciate.
I fucking love Master Chief more than anybody. Okay, vast majority of people. I got this fucking guy all over my room. Everywhere, all over. He's everywhere.
Courtesy
of the Doodle. That's right. 'Cause you don't know. Look right here behind me, chilling. Boom, posted. Right. So, like, I fucking love it, but I also understand that the Halo, the Master Chief that's in my video game that I love, is not gonna translate to the form of entertainment that the majority of the world uses, which
Yeah.
is TV and film,
Yeah.
right? Because it's easy. You just watch, right?
Exactly.
So you have to make it where it's engaging to those people.
And you can't do the same exact thing. You have to adapt it for that crowd, right? We have to understand the difference between, a book and television, right?
Yep.
Obviously, you go ahead, you read a book, there's a lot more detail. There are freaking pages filled with information and everything for you to for the book to take you to the place that they're trying to take you to. They explain every little detail of that scene, right? Well, in a movie, it's compact, right?
Yeah,
you
and it's
have
quick.
to go ahead.
The thing that you took 14 minutes reading, and then if you're like me,
2 seconds
rereading because I forgot what I read by the time I got to the end.
Exactly.
I was like, wait what
hold
did I
up.
fucking read?
What was
And then go
that?
back and then do it again. I probably do it 4 times before I give
And then
up.
you fall asleep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I give up. And I say,
Yes.
okay, I'm either
Well,
gonna move on and
night-night
accept
book.
it or go to sleep.
See you never.
Right? So like I don't read the Halo books or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like that's not my story, right?
Yeah, I
I
get
know Master Chief from the video games, the Halo stories through the video games and only the video games.
Yeah.
And now there's a multiverse of the TV show.
There you go. That's the type of multiverse we want. All right?
Oh my God.
Shintaro says that Master Chief is awesome.
He is awesome. He is
Facts.
the greatest.
But yeah.
For sure. But like it's just
you got to take things for what it is, for what they are, and like The Notebook is one of my freaking favorite movies, like of that type of movie, right? But I read the book, I'm like, oh, this is not The Notebook, but this is the book,
Yeah.
And the book came first, so they adapted, and I prefer the movie, but I get it. The book is a book. It's where the movie was made from.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it didn't need to
Absolutely.
completely follow for me to understand. And it's just understanding, essentially.
The other thing too that I think people probably got a little pissed off is like the idea of Superman, right? So they basically in this version when he goes back, now obviously he went forward, but they never really clarify Superman when he comes back to the
Exactly.
future, right?
And Superman was a big deal with you saw him a lot as he's moving through and running back.
Yeah.
He's
So
very
Superman didn't make it in the timeline that he went back to, right?
which mean
Because
what does that mean?
Kara. So the way that we know from like Smallville that Kara and Clark
Our cousins.
are cousins, they
They
got
were sent
sent down at
together,
the same time, and
yes.
Kara was supposed to protect Clark because Kara is the older cousin,
Yes.
and Clark was a baby.
Yes.
But they got separated, and Clark landed on
So
Earth.
elsewhere, yes.
And Kara landed wherever the fuck she landed, and she finally found them eventually. But
yes.
that's what happened. But in this timeline, Clark was the one that got sent somewhere else by mistake, and Kara landed on
Earth. And she was like taken and
she
like,
was captured.
Yes,
and
capture.
They held her and whatever. But Shintaro was 4%. Come on, man. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together,
Get your
Shin.
shit together, bro. Bury that 98%. You see,
Woo!
this is what I like to hear.
There we go.
But so it's a very different take, right? So I think there's a lot of fear also involved with how people are looking at this movie. Like, oh, you're possibly taking away my favorite superhero. or you're changing the story of my favorite superhero.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, Superman, listen, Superman as Clark Kent from Smallville,
Oh my gosh.
super dope because he
Yes.
was just learning. It was interesting to see him grow or whatever.
Mhm.
But like
And
full
they
power
got into the
Superman,
relationships. Yeah, it's so like the same
yeah,
over
he's
and
fucking
over,
Superman. Like,
right?
what is there to do? Unless he's
Mhm.
fighting another super freak from Krypton, Krypton,
Exactly.
or they have the
A Kryptonian.
kryptonite.
Yes.
Aside from that, like it's the same fucking battle.
Yeah, it was so cool watching the show. It lasted 10 seasons, and like to see what all the different rocks, like the red one and the kryptonite and the blue, like what they would do to him, and learning all this stuff, and like seeing his love, his first love, and then he was in high school when it started, and then he gets his job as a, a reporter. Like seeing that story played out, and you know the actors that they had, like, it was really, really cool for me, at
Oh yeah, at
least.
that time it was super dope.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Paige.
So,
All right, let me ask you this. So
yes.
let's say, based off the movie,
Mhm.
that Superman, obviously we know Homeboy's out,
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
And I think
So
that's
what if
that's
what
a lot of the situation. So, yeah, well,
what if
wait,
they
finish
go
what you
that
were
way?
saying. They did separate, and in this story, right,
Yeah,
in that time,
Superman's dead.
Superman is dead.
They captured him as a baby,
Yes.
gone with the wind.
They capture him because one of them was the key to start their world again.
Yep. And they
And
assumed it was
they
the
assume it
baby.
was the baby, so they grabbed him and Zod, right?
Zod, yep.
And in the process, the baby died.
Baby died, but they didn't get what
So
they
I
needed from
think
him.
that that's a fear, as you explained, that potentially, like, what are you bringing us now? It's not going to be Superman.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, right? So it's Kara,
Hmm.
who also looks very different from how they showed her in the show. So I
In
don't know
Smallville,
comic book
yes.
wise what she actually is supposed to look like. But again, we already talked about it, but I think she played her perfectly.
She
But my
did so
question
good,
to
guys.
you is
Yes.
post this movie, right?
Hmm.
So Flash, let's say this is telling us what's coming. There is no Superman,
Hmm.
right? Which I feel like I read somewhere that they casted a Superman,
Okay.
but I could be completely wrong and completely fabricating that entire idea.
Ooh, well,
So let's
kind of
assume
like how they fabricated that this movie was shit.
exactly.
Got it.
Let's assume that there is no Superman.
Okay.
Okay, going forward, they're sunsetting Superman
Until they reset
and not
something,
until
and
something else happens.
yes,
But right now they're rocking with
with this, with
Supergirl.
what took place.
How do you feel about that?
Yo, she was so badass. All right.
She was
She
badass.
was she such a great actress.
Or replace Superman
But
badass?
this is the thing. Like, who gives a crap? Like,
So
it's
it
let's
show
move on.
so it
Like,
shows
she
us
did so well. Why not? Why not?
well, absolutely. And it does show us that just the timeline, right? If it was just a matter of who got bumped where, right?
Mhm.
Because let's say Superman's real, right? And the story played out that Superman landed here and she landed over
Yes.
there. If the scenario just swapped like it showed here, where
Mhm.
she came here and Superman went somewhere else, right? She would be our Superman,
Exactly.
right? Like she would be
Exactly.
our super woman, right?
Yes.
Which is I don't know why they call her Supergirl,
Yeah, I
right?
know,
It's not
right? It should be
Superboy, it's
woman.
Superwoman, right?
Yes.
But maybe because Wonder Woman, I don't know. But still, the point is that
It's like the SpongeBob episode with Barnacle Boy and
Mermaid Man,
Mermaid Man. Yeah.
yeah, he wants to be Barnacle Man.
Mhm.
Um, so the question is, if we're sunsetting Superman, how do you feel about going forward having Superwoman as our super
So I
person?
feel like she played the character well. I would love to watch a full movie with her. And why not? What's the problem? Superman didn't make it in this round, So we're focusing on her story and what she's going to do from now on. I would love it. Why not? You
Okay.
know?
Let me ask you this: do you feel like this movie, because this is gonna be let's.
How do you feel?
This is wrapping
Let me throw
around.
the question back at you.
I would love it.
Right?
I mean, if you've been listening, following us for a little while, we have daughters,
Yes.
so I'm all for my girls seeing strong,
Women.
women.
Mm-hmm.
They have their mother to see,
Thank you.
which is beautiful. In
Girls.
the entertainment world, though, that's where translation gets lost, right? Because there's plenty of people who have like strong
Exactly.
mother examples, but then they go out there and they see the rest of the world and it's like, whoa, who are these people?
What's happening?
Right? It's always men who are the heroes.
I
Men
mean,
are
let's
the
talk
heroes.
about if you go ahead and you start counting, right? The Flash, Batman, Superman, Aquaman. Okay. And so on and so like, dude,
Yeah,
where does
all
it
the
end?
women that they add outside of Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
right, are like weird spin-off
That
people that
don't
they
really
just made,
get-
like Hawk Girl.
Yes.
I don't know, I just made that up, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not enough that right?
Even with Avengers, right? They had the whole group, and then
Black
there
Widow,
was
one girl,
Yep, and then obviously like Scarlet came in or whatever her
the
name is.
Red Witch,
Yes,
Scarlet Witch.
and like, come on,
She actually was really, really good in the TV, the show.
yeah.
What was the name of it? I don't remember, but it was
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Yes,
Yes, facts. That was a banger.
She did say that she was like so done with it and needs like time
Of course,
away.
they all do.
They all do.
Everybody does.
They're like dying for a job. I want to make it.
I forgot who said it. Was it Dusty who said that all the delays are good? Like, we can use the strike and
Yes, and
let
catch up with some
let
stuff.
the movies get delayed. But what I wanted to go into, because as we're talking, this is it's unlocking more thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
But one of the other big reasons I could think of that this movie might be getting shit is the trend of what they're talking about, these days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the movie is too woke?
Woke.
Woke. I don't know who came up
Listen.
with that. By definition, if you're woke, right? If you whoever came up with that word as a negative, right? Like, oh, they're so woke.
It's a positive thing.
Being woke.
Yeah.
If the way you're suggesting it is like you're awoken, like you're aware now.
Aware.
Like you
yes.
understand now
yes.
that
Mind
shit was
has
bad
unlocked.
before,
Yes.
and now it should be better.
Yes.
And women should have female role models that are not always beneath men.
Mm-hmm.
And the strongest person in the world doesn't have to be a man; it could be a woman.
Exactly.
Right? Like, okay, but I'm not on any side of the woke bandwagon, whatever it is. I really don't even understand who's saying what. But my point is, though, is when you think about this, right? They take out the man, Superman. He's gone. Now they're giving us a woman. Like, do you feel like that can be why some of these people think the movie is not good because it's quote unquote too woke for them?
Okay, so I kind of do. So this is the situation. I feel like and after we watched this movie, Mad Men showed me, by the way, a trailer for Blue Beetle, and it looks amazing.
Yo, Blue Beetle
guys.
looks fucking fire,
I cannot
dude.
wait.
After seeing this,
I'm so pumped.
My hype level for Blue Beetle is so high.
To the roof, bro. I am so
shit.
pumped. It looks so good.
Oh, damn. We got to watch Shazam.
Yes. Yo, it
After
looks
watching
so
this,
good.
now I want to see Shazam to see if it was fucking good.
So
because the first Shazam was banger.
There were so many changes that like in this movie, right? So we talked about the Superman wasn't there, and the possibility of how they would move forward, right? And what changes they could make. Also, another thing was that so his parents are Spanish and they sing in Spanish, they speak Spanish, which was beautiful. But also, how was that, seen? We're talking about a lot of movies like getting judged. We were talking about Disney, right? Being in a hole because they keep trying to break the mold of what it was in update and make things right? Yeah. And things just keep getting knocked down. So it
Yeah.
makes you wonder, you know, how much, like, we talk about the woke world and how far we've come, but how far have we really come, right?
So this
That's the
is
big question.
so this is the thing that I would say. And look, I'm not like bringing politics into it,
No, I don't.
but like
Not
I
looking to
think
do
certain
that.
people are above politics, right? So this is not
Yes.
about like Democrat versus Republican.
No.
But I think I think we kind of found out the reality of what's out there when Donald Trump ran for president and
Mhm.
nobody took that shit seriously because it was like, who the
Who's
fuck
gonna
is gonna
elect?
vote for Donald Trump? And then
Yeah.
you find out that like half the country fucking did. And it's like, where the fuck were you fucking hiding? Have you been among us all this time? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I get that. Yes.
So it's like, and again, I'm not, I'm not political at all. It literally has nothing to do with his political views
Yes.
or what he accomplished or didn't accomplish. I can care less. The only time I even think about the president is when I got to vote.
We gotta vote. Yeah.
After that, don't matter to me. Um, but that just what I'm saying is that you're like, what is this woke shit? Like, why? Who are the people who are thinking that
Yeah.
this is like a negative? And then you're like, remember, like, well, a lot of fucking people who are
Yeah.
closeted, people that don't run around saying shit, but in the
Yeah.
background they
They
vote and they
feel a
vote with their
certain way.
dollars,
And
right? They
listen,
don't come
the
watch the
same
movies, and they don't
the
come
same
out.
thing happened with, okay, so we're talking about like Black Adam,
Yep,
right?
phenomenal fucking
Phenomenal
movie.
movie, didn't do well, right?
Nope.
We're talking about even like, I was kind of surprised at like how little like the first like Across the Spider-Verse made. I thought it did a lot more. Um but
Oh, Across the Spider
yeah.
Verse. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
that one at
we're
least did
we're
better.
talking about like the Flash, right? We're
Yeah.
talking when you mentioned how also like it wasn't the traditional like way that they set up the girl at the end that he's going for, which I loved, but like it was not what it typically takes place, right?
Yeah.
You typically see. Okay, so then we're talking about the Little Mermaid, how they, it's not doing well and they switch things up, right?
She was
And
amazing
the
as Ariel.
amazing as the Little Mermaid, the movie was, I loved it.
Yep.
I love the cast, the whole cast.
Everything was great.
Yes. So like, and there are many movies, right? And that we can continue talking about, but then it makes you wonder, right? Like,
How many of these movies are flopping because
because of
of the
the
stance they're
changes,
taking, right?
yes, that they're
And
making.
like, listen, I understand, change is, rough. And if you are someone who, you know, if you're a man and you don't like seeing women being more powerful than a man, like that's kind of a you problem,
Yeah,
bro. Like that's a
100%.
that's a you problem.
That's a deep you problem. Like you really need to look inside, go to some therapy, and figure your shit out. If
Yep.
you can't handle that
Yep. And if
situation,
you're
it
if
doesn't mean you're secure and you think you're the shit. It means you're insecure and you have some issues you need to go figure out.
yeah, and if you're like uh a white person who's upset that they're taking the old, classic movies from Disney back in the day and remaking them with non-white
Hmm.
characters. um if you can't take a second to understand that,
What that
what that
means.
means for the other people, like
Hmm.
the what that means for, you know people of color who have children who get to, look up to a doll that they like, not a doll, but they look up to a character that they can go to the store and get the doll from the character, and
Hmm.
it's not the knockoff doll,
Yes.
right? It's the doll,
Yes.
right? So my doll is brown because the real person's brown.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know about you, but I always saw like Barbie and stuff like that. They eventually changed it,
Hmm.
but like they didn't change the features of the Barbie.
Yes.
They just changed the color,
Hmm.
right? Like they didn't go in there and say, "Let me make an ethnic Barbie that actually." I mean, I'm sure maybe now they have,
Maybe
but I
now, yeah.
remember,
But yeah, I
when
know
it
what
was
you
first
mean.
happening, it was just like a color change, right?
Hmm.
Just to kind of fit some quota, but they didn't
Yeah.
actually go in there and do that. So, if you have a child that's of color and you give them that that Barbie still looks like a white Barbie. It's
Yeah.
just,
I get that. Yeah, I
dark.
get
You
what
know
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying?
Yes.
Like people look differently and they deserve to
Yeah.
have the ability to see to have who they are reflected in pop culture
A
and
hundred
not
percent.
in only, fucking rap videos or like stupid ways that they like,
Hmm.
BET was like the only place you can see black people on TV for a
Yeah.
long time.
For
You
a
know what
very
I'm
long
saying?
time. 100%.
Like
Yeah.
it's wild, like it's crazy. I mean, listen, I know I look white. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Spanish, so I'm not. It's different, but um, it matters to me. My kids are Spanish. They're some of them are tanner than others, and they're gonna
Hmm.
grow up in this world. And yes, I want my daughter to look at a fucking princess that's on TV and be like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's me. Not, for Halloween they get to dress up as a princess that looks like them. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? As opposed to, you have your Tanner daughter want to dress up as the only princesses that are
Yeah.
around, which are these white princesses, and then you go and you're trick or treating, and then there's the white girl in the same outfit, and it's like she's the she's actually the dressed up like her because she looks like her, right?
Hmm.
And you're, what I'm saying? Like these are all
I
fucking
understand
feelings that
100%.
are
And those are
real.
the things that are not understood, right?
Yeah, and
And the
they get brushed under the rug because it
perspectives
doesn't
that
matter
are
to those
not seen,
people,
it doesn't matter.
right?
So
It's
to
not their
them,
problem.
it's not, yep, it doesn't exist, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's
100%, I
it's
agree.
bullshit. It's
I
bullshit.
agree.
It's bullshit. And so all those people, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. All those people who have a problem with Disney fucking finally
Trying to
try to right
fix,
the
there
wrongs
you
of the
go.
past because they fucking did that, bro. That shit was a choice. They made all those
Yes.
fucking characters white because that's what was good to do back then. They didn't give a flying fuck about representing any other color in the
Hmm.
fucking world. And it's fucked up. And yes, I am fucking glad that they're taking Little Mermaid and fucking turning her black. Good. They're
Yep.
taking Snow White. That one, ah, man, that's the only one I have a problem with, and it's not obviously I would love to have it, but by definition, the fucking name of the lady is Snow White, and her skin's
Yes.
supposed to be white as snow. But whatever, at least
And
get a fucking light
still,
skinned
but
Spanish woman.
do
Um,
it. The they're trying to
but they're
say,
trying to right the
listen,
wrongs.
we
These were
know
wrongs. You know what I'm
that this
saying?
wasn't right, and now we're making changes.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
at least they're doing that.
Yeah. And I'm happy that they are. And I
Hmm.
don't give a shit. And you know what? If they have to lose a little money, but at the end of the days, they can't take away the movies. They're already made.
Exactly.
So no matter what, my kids are still gonna be able to see that shit and
Yep.
their kids are gonna be able to see that shit. And that's just what it is. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So, if they have to take the L, take the L. But at the end of the day, this is important that they're doing it. I'm glad.
Hmm.
You know, Blue Beetle, dude, that's
Yo,
a Spanish cast,
it
bro.
looks
It's a
so
Spanish cast.
good. I'm
That
so
shit is fucking
pumped.
dope. Is it gonna do well? Probably not, because the racism is gonna be real,
Yeah,
and people are not gonna go watch it because it's full of Spanish people. But you know who is gonna fucking watch it?
I
I'm
am.
gonna fucking watch it.
Heck
All
yeah.
right, because that shit is gonna
Yep,
be
it's gonna be
fucking
so good,
dope.
and whoever doesn't just gonna miss out, just like they're missing out
It's
on
just a
this
fact, man.
movie, and a lot of other ones. The Little Mermaid was freaking amazing.
It really was.
Yo,
It really was, and I hope they do that to every classic fucking movie that's out there.
agree.
Make them different. Give other people time to be represented out in the world.
Hmm.
Right? I don't know exactly how we got here.
I don't know, but
Not
I'm glad we
100% sure.
did because
Not 100%
these
sure.
are things that are important to bring up.
Oh, the woke
The
conversation.
woke
That this
conversation.
being woke
Yeah.
because of the woman being used. And, they're probably pissed that the girl that he likes is not white or
Hmm.
whatever the fuck, right? Like, so they use George Clooney instead of Christian Bale at the end, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed. um, but yeah, like it sucks because like you also got to remember that the people who are making movies are also evolving, and these voices of the minority people are coming up in
Yes.
movies, and they want to tell their stories, right? And they
Mhm.
want to tell stories in the way that they can see it. Not that James Gunn is part of that situation, but I'm just saying, you see these movies, you gotta appreciate them for what they are,
Yeah. 100%.
right? And again, like I don't force myself. Like I don't care if I bought a movie and it's whack, it's just whack, and I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna force myself to enjoy something.
Mhm.
But putting like fake outrage into something, right? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And what they're doing to this movie and Black Adam and other movies like that, like Madman said, like fucking Batman Beyond or whatever is canceled
Yeah.
because of how bad this movie did. It's like we're in a situation where these people are going to just try to make cookie cutter fucking movies
Yes.
because if they don't
We're
do that,
taking
no one's
steps
gonna
back.
fucking watch it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's like,
I don't see anybody up in arms about, Spider-Man.
no,
And
no, no.
honestly, movie in comparison to The Flash, yo, they've been crap.
The Flash is better. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Said
At
it.
me. At me. At CMoney
Acid money.
Forever on Twitter. Come at me and talk to me about how Spider-Man the movie is better than Flash.
Yo.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We've seen, first of all, Spider-Man's not even better than Spider-Man. The original Tobey Maguire trilogy,
Yeah.
the best. But needless to say, I'm getting all emotional about this shit. Get angry. No,
Walk out.
this movie doesn't deserve it.
Listen,
This was a great movie.
I do. I understand that. And like, even just like, I brought it up on the podcast, right? Like, Encanto which is an amazing movie, did not get the same type of advertising that I didn't even know like what the heck the movie was about.
Facts.
It did not get the same
I
type
didn't
of
know it was even
advertisement
releasing
that Frozen gets
it
or
came to
any of
Disney
these
Plus.
other movies, right? And it's like we got to see how we're doing things and what we're doing. And that didn't come out that long ago. And yo, it was a freaking phenomenon.
It
And
really
I'm
was.
glad it was. But like, yeah, this movie, you got to check it out. You got to watch The Flash. You got to do it. It's so good.
It really is. It really, really is top notch. I don't know what other Madmans over here talking nonsense. Spider-Verse is better than Tobey Maguire, better than the Flash. Okay. How about this? Let's leave the cartoons with the children and their coloring books at the kids' table. Okay. We're talking about real life movies here. Okay. It's a good time.
So,
It's a good time.
this was fun.
It was.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And I feel like watching The Flash again.
I do. I feel like watching The Flash again because it was
Guys,
fucking
again,
good,
I've watched it twice already this week.
and we're not like double uppers.
No.
We don't just rewatch it
No.
unless it's like
Well, I
kid
got
stuff that
too
plays.
much going on. I got things to do. I have other things to see. I'm busy. All right. So to rewatch something, it's not a short movie.
It's not.
It's not. It doesn't feel like it's long, but it's it's over 2 hours. So I don't know.
All right. Well, listen. I think.
Oh my gosh, Man, Jujutsu
What?
Kaisen Jujutsu Kaisen the with the dubs came out today.
Did it?
Yeah, season 2, episode 1. It's dubbed out, baby.
All right. Maybe
That's
we'll
what I'm
watch
reading
that.
over here.
Jujutsu Kaisen's fire.
Yo,
That's fire.
fire!
Jujutsu Kaisen is better than the Spider-Verse.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Why would you throw that out there?
That's true.
Why would you do this to Madman?
Those are just facts. I'm just.
Why?
Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm speaking the words of the people.
You can't do this like this.
They have all gathered together to let us know that
Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was
is fucking phenomenal.
everything. And
Hi, Paige.
listen,
Have a good night, homie.
good night, Paige. The Across the Spider-Verse, no, Into the Spider-Verse. That was better than I remember it being because we rewatched it not long ago.
Real quick, I didn't see it,
Yes.
but Paige had made a great comment. Just kind of what we were talking about. And she said yes that she. Wait, where the fuck did it go? Did I move it too fast? Oh, I like when Disney makes princesses or different characters from movies, different cultures. You see, that's what we need, right? That's the reality. You have to be able to let them expand their
And
horizons.
explore. Yes, you get to see the culture. You get to like hear their music and like, yo, it's you get exposed to other things,
Absolutely,
you know, just in general.
absolutely.
It's a great thing.
Those
I
are
wish we had
facts.
seen that comment before.
Yep.
Paige um left already. But yeah, I love that she said that.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was fun. This was a good topic to
It
talk about.
was.
It did trigger us. We had to come do a her, him, and a mic on it. We haven't done one of these in a while.
It's been a while. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And listen, remember that Yellowstone's coming back?
That's a possibility.
Like before when we weren't doing them live yet and we covered every like episode of Yellowstone with her, him, and a mic.
Yeah.
But I don't know how this season's coming back though. I don't know if we're
That's
gonna be breaking it down
That's
like
a good
that.
question. I don't know what they're
because-
doing because it's pretty much done, right? Like
Mhm.
it's just they're just gonna give us some type of conclusion,
Well,
possibly.
I think so because Kevin wants out.
Kevin Costner, the
He
OG.
wants out, yo.
I'm surprised he hasn't played Batman.
I'm Batman. Well, maybe he has in his sleep.
That's possible.
You never know.
I mean,
What was that?
Uh,
In his sleep.
listen, I'm down for all the movements. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Of course you are. See?
Oh my god.
Guys,
fun times.
thank you for hanging out with us.
This was
We
awesome.
had a great time as always.
Yeah, and this was kind of like shoveled. Like we were just kind of putting our thoughts out there. This wasn't.
Yes.
We didn't organize this in some
No.
crazy way. We just wanted to kind
You
of
just get on the mic.
be raw and
This is kind of how it goes
see what was
down.
going down.
If you have not, hit that like button, you guys.
Yes.
That would be really awesome.
Do the right
Haven't
thing.
subscribed, hit the subscribe button. You know, ring that bell so that you know when we go live. And don't forget that we have our Discord server.
Our
Whatever.
Discord.
Discord.
The link's in the description.
And the link is there, guys. Join us
And
and come
listen,
hang out.
I need to just point this out because Purple Berry just made it amazing.
What did
and
Purple Berry
truthful
say?
and honest, the most honest comment.
The most honest comment that's
Despicable
ever been
Me
made.
is better than Spider-Verse.
You guys are
Facts.
coming out man.
Facts. Those
Yo.
are bombs being dropped.
Why?
Truth bombs that Man needs to hear. Great job, Purple Berry. Thank you. Knew you were an amazing daughter. You know what I'm saying? Had amazing insight. So
Bluey, better than Spider-Verse.
better than Spider-Verse.
Peppa Pig. Yo, that's messed up. Sorry, Madman. We're just joking.
These are the
Joking.
facts. These are the facts.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right.
He's
All right.
not
We're
gonna
gonna
be
get
out.
out of here, guys. Guys, listen. Thank you so much again. Like Doodle said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, be a friend, come hang out with us in the chat.
Out.
We have a lot of cool stuff going on tomorrow.
Yes.
Most likely, we're gonna be rocking again. Doing
Yo,
something.
guys. Are you
Pikmin
kidding
4.
me? Pikmin 4 comes out tomorrow.
Pikmin 4 comes out tomorrow.
Yo.
Pretty good reviews
Yeah, I bet.
from what I'm gathering. out in the
Nintendo doesn't
streets.
miss.
Nintendo doesn't miss. It's gonna be good. So we'll probably
Yes.
do that. We'll probably do a first impressions of that, and I think that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
That'll be super fun.
Yeah, me likey.
We'll see what else. Oh, Barbie comes out tomorrow.
Yo, so hyped.
I was just talking shit about Barbie, but
I
I, want
know.
to fucking watch that shit.
We'll see the story. We'll see what they give us.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited about that. Okay, we're really gonna leave at
Yeah.
some point.
All right, guys.
So
Have a good
we're gonna-
night.
We're gonna be out. Thank
Love
you
you
again,
all.
guys. We appreciate it. Doodle,
Yes.
we're done.
What? We are.
Until next time,
You're intruding.
you're intruding.